everyone, it's Saucy Mouth, and today I'm going to be cooking these great pork chops and a gravy sauce to pour over rice. But I have these pork chops in a brine that's going to make them so tender and juicy when we cook them today. I can't wait to show you this recipe. Alright, so today for these pork chops, this recipe, we're going to need, of course, our pork chops. Now, what I've done ahead of time, and the recipe is going to be on my website, so don't worry, is I have made a brine. A brine consists of basically like salt, some broth of some sort. I have brown sugar and some spices in here, and you let, I usually do it for turkey or pork chops especially. And it's, you let the meat sit in this juice in the broth, and it makes it so it soaks up more salt and everything, and it makes it become so tender, sweet, and juicy when you are cooking it on the stove or on the barbecue, wherever. This is my brine, and I'm going to take out my pork chops, and we're going to place them on the pan, and we're going to fry them up, and I'm going to put them on probably medium-high heat. And we're going to have them about approximately 5 minutes on each side. Okay, so we are ready to fry up our pork chops, and I'm just going to take it straight from this brine and throw it on the frying pan. So I have all my pork chops on here, and they are frying up, like I said, 5 minutes on each side. Just check them depending. We want to cook them all the way on the frying pan until we get to the next step. Okay, so we're waiting on our pork chops to be frying up. They're looking great. In the meantime, what else we need to make is some rice to go with these. So I have instant rice, and I'm making about 6 servings of this. I also have 4 pork chops. They're medium-sized pork chops frying up. You can do bigger or whatever, but I'm just doing 4. 3, I'm putting in 6 servings of which is about 3 cups and 3 cups water to go with it. When you're making rice, you need to make sure your rice comes to a boil. And also, to do a quick way for rice, just find an instant way or use your rice cooker and just follow the directions for that. So now that we have our rice cooking and the pork chops frying, we're going to make the gravy. And my gravy consists of, I have already pre-chopped 1 onion, and I had it saute in some olive oil, and I just minced it up really nice, and I'm going to add that in for the mixings for our gravy. Then what I have is I have 1 cup of sour cream. In my cooking, I never skimp on the sour cream. I always go for the regular. I never go non-fat or light. I find that I lose my taste when I do that. Then I'm going to do a 1/2 cup of milk. Then I'm going to do 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. And next, all I'm going to do is I'm going to just stir this all up, and we want it to be a really nice thick gravy. Okay, so as we're waiting for these pork chops still, I made the gravy, and all I need to do now is add the spices. So what I have is I have 1 teaspoon of minced garlic that we're going to add in. Then what I'm going to do is I have 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and the same with salt, 1/4 teaspoon of both. Then what I'm going to do is, just for some extra flavoring, is sprinkle just some seasoning salt, probably 1/4 of that, just to get some extra flavor in there. And then the next one I love to add, but you have to be careful with, is cayenne pepper. I sprinkle just a little bit. It's not coming out. Alright, just a little bit because it can get too hot. You just need to be really careful to your liking of cayenne pepper. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to mix this up, and the pork chops are almost ready. And we're going to add that in with the gravy. The rice is done. We're just waiting on the pork chops. So just a couple more minutes and we'll be ready to serve this up. Okay, so I have already taken our pre-made rice, put it in my casserole dish, which I pre-greased because I don't want the rice to stick to the bottom of it. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to pour, let's see, a little bit of the gravy over. And let's see, I already put away my utensil, but we'll just flatten it out here. I just want a little bit of the gravy to be on the rice because we got a lot of gravy. Okay, now we are ready to get our pork chops, which look great. You can see some burn marks on them. They look great. And I'm just going to place them on top. And next, all I have now is my oven is preheated to 350. And I'm just going to leave this in there for 20 minutes just so that the gravy, the rice, and everything comes together. I'm just going to pour the rest of the gravy over the pork chops. And let me tell you, this is going to be one delicious dinner. And this is one of those that you can make on a Sunday night and freeze and take it out and have it ready for later on in the week if you'd like. And this is wonderful. Alright, all we're going to do is I'm going to put the lid on and pop it in the oven, 350 for about 20 minutes. Okay guys, I have taken the pork chop out of the casserole dish, served it up on a plate. It was 20 minutes. It was great. Let's see here. Can you see that? It looks delicious. It's still steaming. It smells good. All I did was for presentation is topped it off with a little paprika. That's it. I cannot wait to dive into this. Let's see here. That pork, because we brined it before, and I'll have another part of a link to showing you how to brine, but that was so tender, sweet, and juicy. The pork chop is not dry at all. The gravy and the rice just makes it wonderful with the onion, the cream mushroom soup. It's excellent. I'm telling you, this is going to be a family favorite. Check me out on my website at www.saucymouth.com. I really hope you try this recipe, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks until next time. Enjoy!